has said some incredibly weird things about this conflict from the very beginning. Every day he says weird things about it, but this one just might be the strangest.
There's never been a head of a country that wanted that job less than being the head of Iran. I don't want it. We listen to some of the things they say. We hear them very clearly. They say, I don't want it. We'd like to make you the next supreme leader. No, thank you. I don't want it.
Yeah, look, Donald Trump has spent his entire life fundamentally not understanding things. That is, to his core, what he is. He doesn't understand Iran. He doesn't understand the people that serve in its government and its military. He doesn't understand their sort of political, philosophical, like orientation for the past 50 years and what they've been preparing for. They already chose a new Ayatollah. You know why they did that? Because lots of people wanted to be the Ayatollah. Yes, they do know that it is entirely possible that they might die. They've sort of made peace with that on some level. And he doesn't understand at all what he is up against here. And that is important, not so that we can bomb things, we can do that. But if we're to achieve the goals that he pretends to have, you have to understand something about something about your enemy. And he doesn't. And he's never going to, because he is incapable of understanding that which he does not understand, which is a prerequisite for finding out and learning. He doesn't have that. He's, by the way, bear in mind, he's also declared himself the acting president of Venezuela. So also it's just massive bluster too. But let me end on something that maybe is even stranger, because you might recall, it's hard to with the way the media works. You might recall that at one point, Donald Trump talked about the people of Iran, that this war was supposed to help them. After all, because they are so downtrodden, suppressed, all of that. He doesn't talk like that anymore, let's be clear about that. But he used to pretend that he cared about them and that this would result in a more representative government or something. So he does an interview with the Five, and he's gonna be asked about an element of that. And I want you to see how much empathy he is willing to scrape together for the people of Iran.
It is alarming that we have not been able to see or hear from any of the Iranian people. And I imagine that is because their internet is shut down. And I think there is some general worry about them. Obviously, their government treats them terribly and killed tens of thousands of them in January. Again, like Kayleigh, I would never ask you to tell us something that is classified, but do you have any insight as to how they are doing? Do they have drinking water? Do they have food?
Right, I do.
It's upsetting.
I do. But first, you remember when we had lunch years ago in the base of Trump Tower when it was a brand new building?
It was a long time ago, yes.
A long time ago, and you haven't changed.
Oh.
You have not changed. Now, I'm not allowed to say this. It's the end of my political career, but you may be even better looking, okay? So I don't know what you're doing. But I will not say
makeup
that.
Has a lot
I will
to do
not
with
say
that.
that because that will end my political career. You know, you're not allowed to say a woman's beautiful anymore.
What? He was asked if the people of Iran have food or water, and he said, yeah. I'll get to that. But first, you remember way back in the day, I wanted to have sex with you, and I still want to have sex with you more now than I did then. What was the question about? I was just thinking about how much I wanted to have sex with you.
It's like, she's like, I went to school, I worked very hard to get to this position. And what's funny is like the people, hey, you are allowed to say someone's beautiful.
Yeah, I think
you're allowed to. You
right?
just
you're a
did
beautiful man, okay? You're allowed to.
TYT hair and makeup has a lot to do with that. TYT hats and makeup. But like, it's so funny that like the left tries to protect you from that kind of weirdness. And it was undeniably weird. She hated that moment. The right loves to say they can't do the thing they do all the time.
Oh yeah,
like you can't even say this. You can't even talk like this anymore. The way I'm talking.
That's 80% of right-wing comedians' entire thing. I'm not allowed to say what I just said and about to say more of.
It's so nuts. But like the thing that strikes me when I watch clips like that is like, imagine the first one. Imagine believing him. Imagine what kind of a mush brain you have to be like, that was a great point he just made. Oh, no one wants to be the head of Iran anymore. What are you talking about? And she tees him up to be a person, and he can't.
He can't. Not for a second. He
He doesn't care about anybody or anything but himself.